Welcome to the Termatrac T3i Training. A few safety precautions with the T3i unit. It is a microwave emitting device, so do not hold it against yourself, one person or anyone, or look into the head while it's operating. Do not look at the laser beam or point at anyone while it's operating as well. What I suggest to do, if it's out of the box with batteries in it, always sit it upright on the bench on the floor. That way no one can be hit with the microwaves emitting from it or the laser beam. It's recommended to only use nickel metal hydride rechargeable batteries for the battery charger. You can use any battery you like, but only in the battery charger it's recommended nickel metal hydride. In the kit, which you would have received all of the chargers, associated cables, the T3i unit and the phone PDA for you, 10 AA batteries. Now if there's anything in the kit that you don't have associated with it, please give us a call at the office. When your calibration is due, which is 6 months from brand new, and then every 12 months from there, you only need to send in the T3i unit and the PDA if you wish us to do the updates. You can do that in the flat box provided. On the actual T3i unit itself, the moisture sensor as marked on the back face. Beneath that we have a flip stand. On the bottom face of the T3i we have the radar sensor, the thermal sensor, and the thermal sensor's laser pointer. With the radar sensor, it is the bottom part of the face only. Where the scope circle is, it is just around that area. The radar emits from the device straight out. The flip stand can be used in 45 degrees, which is a good angle for, as shown here, for getting to the bottom corner of bottom plates and in between smooth edge and skirting board. Another use of the flip stand, standing it like this, the height does usually work out for getting across the top of bottom plates depending on the floor surface or coverings. The T3i unit itself is powered by 5 AA batteries. The T3i suite has 10 rechargeable nickel metal hydride batteries in it, usually giving you up to 8 hours use time per set. The other connectors inside the battery cover you see are not for user use, they're for Termatrac at time of calibration. And the screw on the top of it, that's for joining the T3i unit onto a tripod or a monopod for extended use. A few notes on the batteries for the T3i unit. When the AA batteries are dead flat or close to, they can take 18 hours to become fully charged. So bear in mind timing involved as far as keeping batteries charged with you at each time. Once a month or every couple of months at the outset, pop all your batteries into the charger, hit the little yellow discharge button. This will fully deplete every battery in the charger. Once all batteries are to 0%, they will fully charge up. That can take a full weekend to do, guys, so put it on Friday night, you'll be ready to go Monday morning. Now, if indeed you do need new batteries at all, just give Termatrac a call and they might be able to help you out with that as well. A few other pointers with the batteries. I keep them in 2 sets. I put a magic mark onto one set of 5 batteries, and I'll always use that 5 batteries together along with the other 5 that are unmarked. Keeping them in sets like that, I believe, will extend the life of your batteries. If we lay the unit down on the moisture sensor, having the top of it looking at us, we have 3 buttons. The button on the left is a snapshot button, the middle button is the mode button, and the right button is the power on-off button. To start the T3i unit, remove the back cover and put in the 5 AA batteries supplied, keeping in mind the correct polarity. PDA which you've been given is actually a phone. It's a Samsung Galaxy Express. A few buttons on here. To note, on the side of the button there's the actual power button. To switch it completely off, you need to hold it all the way down until a box comes up on the screen prompting you what to do from there. If you only touch it once for briefly under a second, the screen will shut down, but it has not shut the device down. On the home screen we have the Termatrac application icon. Down the bottom of the phone we have 3 buttons. The middle button beneath the Samsung word is the home button. That'll take you back to the screen that we're looking at any time, wherever you are at the moment on the phone. The button on the left and the right are what's called ghost buttons. You don't see those buttons until you touch in that area, and then the button lights up. The one on the right is the back button. It moves you to the page that you're on prior, the screen you're on prior to this one. The menu button, a box will come up with options, settings and so forth. Depending on what screen you are on, the options will change. To start the Termatrac app, we hit the Termatrac app icon on the home screen, and then we have the 3 sensor screen will show up. Now turn on the T3i device, and the LED light beneath the power button will be green at this point. To connect the T3i device and the PDA via Bluetooth, click on the connect button in the lower left hand corner. The icon at this stage will have an aerial with a red cross through it, indicating that you are connected. When connected via Bluetooth, the green LED light will change to blue to indicate this connection has been made. Purchase units may require a password to operate the system. If the padlock shows up on the transmission aerial, tap on that padlock and you'll get the screen to the right showing up. The generic password is PASS in lowercase. Scroll the screen to see the remember password, check that box, hit enter. You shouldn't have to enter a password again. Alternatively, you can enter your own password going through the menu button down the bottom left on this screen, allowing you to change your password to whatever you like if you wish for more security. If you forgot to turn on your T3i unit before trying to connect via Bluetooth, you may run into connection problems. When it clicks on search for devices, a series of numbers will come up. Check the icon box beside the number associated with your unit. The number can be found on the box that it was supplied to you in, or by removing the batteries in the T3i unit. Hit connect and we'll get the Bluetooth pairing request. In that, you put in a pin of 4 zeros and hit the OK button. From here you should be paired again. We do need to turn on the T3i unit first before we try to connect via Bluetooth. On the phone itself, we have a few icons along the top. We do have a Bluetooth icon showing that we're on. We have the battery showing in percentage base and a green battery. That is for the actual phone itself. The T3i batteries is shown in an icon in the middle of the screen beneath the 3 sensor icons. It is in green graduations as it goes down. When it changes colour towards the bottom, I'd be looking at changing the batteries in the T3i device. The days remaining icon above the done button is the time remaining until your next calibration. You will receive emails leading into this time informing you that it is due and how you can get it back to Termatrac. The sensor selection screen, which will now be in full colour as we're connected to the T3i unit, gives you the choice of the 3 sensors. The top sensor being the radar, the middle being the thermal sensor, and the bottom being the moisture sensor. We'll start with the radar sensor. Tap on the top icon and we'll notice that a green LED comes on the T3i unit as well. The screen on our PDA now will be what we're looking at here. The top part of the screen, the word radar beside it, is the line wave for actual movement. End to end of that box is a 10-second period, and the bar below it is the current instantaneous flash. The blue bar will come out as motion goes across the field of view. Beneath that we have the accelerometer. We have the line graph for it and a bar graph for it as well. It is 10 seconds end to end on that line graph, as well as the top one is. Now, beneath this we have the gain setting. That is a slide bar. You can move it from 1 up to 10. Having it on gain setting 5 or 6 is where we'd start, and then we adjust the gain setting from there dependent on the situation we're working in. To simulate activity detected by the radar, what we can do is put the T3i unit face down onto the bench and move your hand or your leg underneath it, and you'll see on the radar screen we'll have motion represented in the line wave, also in the bar graph. With accelerometer movement we will get patterns in the lower screen. Now if you have patterns in the lower screen, that is indicating outside influence of the machine, not actual motion detected by the radar. In this instance you'd have to discount what you're looking at on the screen until you have no movement in the accelerometer shown. The idea is to have a screen that we're looking at here. Full motion in the radar section, flat line in the accelerometer. The gain setting only affects the sensitivity of the unit. It's important to remember that the density of the material you are inspecting will affect what you're viewing on the screen. Drywood termites may need to be on a higher gain setting for detection of those. More dense material inspected, the higher the gain setting is required. Starting on 5 or 6, as said previously, is the preferred setting, and then adjusting it from there. Increasing the gain control on the radar screen does not increase the output of the microwaves in any way. The microwave emission remains constant. However, what it does do is increase the sensitivity, showing what we have on the screen in front of us for better viewing. I suggest starting on 5 or 6 gain setting, and as you notice you may have some movement there. Increase the gain setting until you get it to such a level that it makes for easy viewing of the line graph in front of you. The line graph is what you interpret to see what actually is moving or not. The bar graph tells you something's moving. You start interpreting the line graph as to what is moving. As shown here, this is a way of holding the T3i unit when you have it in radar mode against the surface. Just hold it comfortably, don't grip it too tight or push too hard against the wall, as just with your muscles twitching and so forth, you can shake the unit unwittingly. Just hold it against the wall, just relax with it and be comfortable with holding it, and you should be right. There is no right or wrong way to hold it other than keeping it steady. T3i device is designed to be used flush against the surface where at all possible. However, it does still work effectively while using the flip stand on the 45° or slightly off the surface, but we do have to avoid reflected or sideways movement, which can affect our readings. Use the T3i device on conducive areas such as door sills, frames, architraves, mouldings, anywhere that you would normally have used your screwdriver or stethoscope prior. These are the areas that you'd use the T3i unit effectively. There are tripods available from Termatrac, which are very handy in the respect of getting you up to cornices, open beams and so forth. The T3i device will pick up on movement on any insect that runs through its field of view. Also, one single termite crossing it will also be detected. Standard building materials which the T3i device will operate through: tiles, marble, stucco, drywall or gyprock, concrete blocks, granite, masonry, bricks, timber, roofing shingles or tiles, particle boards and your press boards, carpet and underlays, insulation, PVC pipes and plastic. There are a few limitations in relation to the radar device of the T3i. Although it is the most advanced tool for detection of termites, the following limitations do apply. The microwaves do not penetrate through metallic surfaces. They will reflect the microwave sideways. Areas with high moisture content, the microwaves get absorbed and do not come back to the viewing screen on the PDA. We'll now move on to the advanced moisture sensor of the T3i unit. Termite detection. We use moisture sensors. The subterranean termites produce and retain moisture within their workings. Also use the sensor to confirm suspicious areas. Key point to know about the T3i moisture sensor is that it is a relative moisture sensor as opposed to a direct moisture sensor, which we're all used to using. From the main sensor screen, we're connected via Bluetooth still. Click onto the moisture sensor icon, just the teardrop symbol. When the sensor comes on, a blue LED light will appear on the Termatrac unit as well. When connected, the T3i moisture sensor does a self-calibration. This calibration is to take into account the specific ambient humidity of the day. At this point, the moisture sensor needs to be open to the air. The moisture sensor must be flush against the surface to be used correctly. To use the moisture sensor, we need to now hold it flush against the surface we are testing, and we need to establish a reference point or a start point. This can be done by pushing onto the moisture sensor tab in the middle of the screen. An increase in moisture from the reference point will show the blue bar coming out from the left-hand side of the screen. If you have moved into an area of less moisture, the red bar will appear from the right-hand side. You can reset your moisture reference point by tapping anywhere within the moisture bar in a particular area. It's recommended that the moisture sensor be used on setting 2 or 3. The gain setting is the blue slide bar beneath the moisture bar screen. Moisture scan log may be saved as well if required for future reference, in the same manner that you would with the radar as previously discussed. As mentioned, the limitation of the T3i unit in regards to the moisture. The radar may be unreliable due to the moisture as it absorbs the microwaves and does not send them back for viewing on the screen. This can be an issue if we're trying to detect activity within an area that we have detected a high moisture reading. What we need to do from here is circumnavigate the moisture area to find the extremities of it, which is getting the moisture content to a level in which we can effectively use the microwaves again. By moving the T3i moisture sensor in and out of the area of moisture, we have the blue bar moving into the moisture and then removing into the red bar as we go away from that moisture. As we get onto the point of no blue and just starting in the red, mark this areas on the wall. Keep doing this around the area of moisture until we have a series of marks along the wall. What we will then have is an area of extremities of the high moisture area, whether that be a circle, a rectangle, whatever shape it happens to be. We then flick over to the T3i radar sensor and we move in between and around this area that we now have marked to investigate any motion that may or may not be in there. As the Termatrac T3i uses a relative moisture detection as opposed to direct moisture detection, it is an advantage when detecting high moisture in wet areas or areas with high humidity, as we're only knowing the difference between one point to the next. We'll now talk about the thermal sensor on the T3i device. It is the same technology used in thermal imaging camera technology. This technology on the T3i, as with thermal image cameras, it only reads and measures surface temperature, does not penetrate beneath the surface. When you tap on the thermometer icon for the thermal sensor, a red LED will appear on the unit as well. As with the moisture sensor, the thermal sensor needs to have an established reference point. At this point, have the T3i unit laser pointer pointing against the wall you wish to test. To establish a reference point for the thermal sensor, whilst pointing sensor at the wall, tap on the display bar on the PDA. From the reference point, if you've moved into an area with a higher surface temperature, a red bar graph will come out from the left hand side. If you've moved to an area of lower surface temperature, blue will appear from the right hand side. The thermal sensor has what's known as a distance to spot ratio. The sensor calculates the average temperature of a circular area on the surface dependent on the distance it is from that surface. The ratio is of 12 to 1, which means if you're 12 centimeters from the surface, it'll calculate an area of 1 centimeter diameter. To increase the area of reading, you need to move further away from the surface. 1 to 2 meters is roughly a good size to be away from it. The gain setting on the thermal sensor is recommended to be run at 7 or 8. This allows for detecting small variances in temperature. A thermal scan log may also be saved if required by hitting the Save Log button, and then it's the same as the other two sensors. The reference point must be reset on each surface, as each surface type retains its own heat signature. This heat signature is also affected by the temperature of the day. To save scan info at any time, if you see something which you believe is activity and you wish to save that for the customer's viewing or for your future records, on the bottom of the screen hit the Save Log button. It'll freeze what was on the screen at the time and it will show it to you again. It'll give you the option to scan it again or to save that particular log. When you save it, it's fill in the blanks from here. Current location and current job are mandatory fields you must fill in. A log number will be associated once they are filled in automatically, and then you fill in which part of the house that it was in. Scroll through that screen and hit enter. To view the jobs which you have saved, from the sensor selection screen, use the menu button at the bottom left of the phone. Pop-up box will appear. Click on View Jobs. From here, the address and job boxes will show up. Start typing in your address details. They will automatically appear. Click on the one corresponding. Job numbers recorded for that. Addresses will show up. Click on the date that you wish to view. Tap on Done. You can view the scan then from that particular day. So if you've taken multiple scans on that particular day at that particular address, click on the one which you want, and then it will show the scan that was saved for that particular day and job. From whichever screen you're on, to return to the sensor selection screen, use the Done button. When finished using the T3i device, exit the application by using the Done buttons and turn off the T3i unit. It is recommended to remove all of the batteries from the unit. This can be done by using the battery cover by flicking out the first battery and then using your fingers to remove the rest. Although the Termatrac T3i unit is the world's #1 termite detection tool on the market, it is still only an inspection aid tool. You are the pest control professional, and your knowledge and experience and expertise is vitally important in the inspection process. Software updates will become available from the Google App Store from the Termatrac app from time to time. You'll need a Google account to use this store and also an internet connection. Depending on your settings, updates may be automatic or manual, following a notification or internet connection availability. Technical support and backup is always available from Termatrac and its staff via telephone, email and online conferencing if you so desire. Support is available via the following methods shown on the screen at the moment. Thank you for taking the time to use the Termatrac T3i Training module.